Ndewo, I have a great guest with me in the house today. He has spoken at major blockchain events around the country. He's organized IRL events and conferences and thousands of attendees. Currently, he's coordinating the ETH Enugu 2025, the very first ever Ethereum conference in Nigeria. I'm talking about someone really, really great, someone awesome. You know him as Ezemmuo Blockchain. He is Okoye Kelvin Chiboyim, and he is a Web3 community growth leader and tech entrepreneur and co-founder of the BlockchainUNN. He's also the founder of GIDA, that is Gina Kev Digital Academy, promoting blockchain adoption and education across Nigeria and beyond. You're welcome, Ezemmuo Blockchain.
Thank you very much for having me.
How are you feeling?
I'm good actually.
Did you like our studio?
I mean, yesterday is actually nice.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad. Okay, so I'm sure that a lot of young people in Enugu, Nigeria, or anybody who is looking at us right now might want to know what is all this about. Can you introduce yourself to us?
Definitely. My name is Kevin Chiboyim, but I'm mostly known as Ezemmuo Blockchain. And funny enough, that's the name that most people now call me than Kevin.
Before you move on, how did you even earn the name in the first place?
All right, so I actually came into the blockchain space in 2018. So I've been here for quite a while. Mostly has been through scams. My experience with crypto has not really been straightforward and enjoyable at the beginning stage.
There's something you said is ringing in my head, scams. You know, a lot of people. I know. We'll ask him.
So a lot of Bitcoin investments and all of those things went down the drain. I actually lost everything I had 2 times. Thinking I had
You're still standing.
It's part of the reasons why I said that if at any point I sort of overcome that stage, because at the point I was almost committing suicide. It got that bad.
Lord have mercy.
So I said, whenever I am able to overcome this, I'll ensure that no other person has to go through the same process.
Good.
So that's why in 2020 I started GIDA, which is Gina Kev Digital Academy, basically to teach people about Web3 and blockchain, so they don't go make those investment decisions and fall into scams again. So while I was a student of University of Nigeria Nsukka UNN. On coming to the campus, I had already started GIDA before then anyways. So I met with 2 other guys that I think were really doing good in the space. And we said, let's teach people in UNN, or basically students, about blockchain. I mean, we're already in the system, we're making money from it, but people were actually struggling as students, right? So we said, how can we make a difference? So we started the BlockchainUNN Club just as a basic group to teach people about Web3 and blockchain. And on individual levels, we're actually teaching blockchain in various ways. So BlockchainUNN grew up to be, it was actually among the first blockchain clubs in Nigeria, and we inspired a lot of other people to start up blockchain clubs. So a lot of blockchain clubs you find in most schools like Unical, ASUITS, and various schools mostly were part of our community, so they actually just sprang up to do it. So
you're like mostly the pioneer of blockchain trainings around here?
The university blockchain clubs, if you might say, yeah.
University blockchain clubs, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so now that we're getting somewhere, we're going deeply to the matter. How did people perceive this concept when you first started it in UNN?
It wasn't really easy trying to make people understand about Web3, because when people hear about blockchain, first thing their mind comes to is money.
I'm thinking it too. I'm thinking it in my mind.
How to make money. They really just want to make money from the system. So we had to let people know that they have to wind down or slow down their expectations, because there's a word called learn, right? If you remove the letter L, it turns to N. So you've got to move from the learning stage before you actually start earning. So this was what we actually had to do. And we're doing this on different scales. Actually, going back to the question you asked about how the name Ezemmuo Blockchain came about, I actually was always talking about blockchain so much that in our class group, I actually studied biochemistry and microbiology.
Oh, wow.
So in the class group where we're mostly talking about chemistry and stuff, I usually flip the conversation to just talk about the financial markets.
They did not block you.
I mean, they cannot block me. They want.
I'm kidding.
Everybody was actually that interested. I'm just saying that it was a 360-degree shift. We are no longer talking about schoolwork in the class group most times, but actually how to help ourselves. So I was always doing blockchain classes in the class group from time to time, so you guys understand how you can make money and all of that. So one day, somebody sent a screenshot in the group while I was doing one of those classes. And in the screenshot, he said that he has just edited my name from Kevin to Blockchain Ezemmuo. So it was like, okay, the way I speak so passionately about this, I'm sort of like a
Yes.
messenger of the gods or something like that.
Yes, okay. Well, as an Igbo person, I know what Ezemmuo means.
Yeah, at some point, I didn't like the name because it was, you know how Ezemmuo sort of gives a bad notion.
Nope.
Nope. I mean, in the
That's
traditional
like
African
king of
setting.
the spirits in Africa.
Exactly.
That's like top top. You know, when we call you Eze, you're good. But
Yeah.
when we call you Eze more, we're taking it to the next level. That's
Yeah, you're actually
something.
coming into the spirit realm.
You should be proud of that.
I mean, at when I looked at it, I thought about it and said, I mean, there's a more guys literally in the African setting typically say they've crossed 7 rivers and 7 oceans to do
And
some
you have.
sacrifice. I have actually crossed all those periods, so I just adopted the
Okay, I
name.
hear you.
Yeah,
I
so
hear you.
that's actually been the journey. It's not really been easy doing the whole education on campus and from campus to, I mean, GIDA has people from across 15 plus countries of the world participating. So far, we've onboarded around 10,000 people into the Web3
Oh
space
wow.
through the boot camps.
10,000 people. That's
Since
a lot.
2020 actually. So it's been a lot of it's been challenging, tough, but we have made progress. I can beat my chest and say that. I mean, I've saved 10,000 people from going through scams. So it's part of the thing.
10,000 people. All right. So we hear you have an ETH conference going on in Enugu. Let's talk about the ETH conference that's about to hold in Enugu. I hear it's happening at the base landmark in Enugu here. So question, why Enugu? And do you think that we now have what it takes in Enugu here to go into such global crypto experience?
It's actually a very interesting question. And before I actually answer that question, I have to give you some context.
Do.
Right? So while I was doing BlockchainUNN while I was a student, I had like global exposure. I have had to travel outside the country a lot of times for events, pop-up cities, builder residencies and stuff. Earlier this year, I was in Ethiopia for a 1 month builder residency. So I've actually participated in pop-up cities and builder residencies from elsewhere. And the connections I tend to build during these events have been massive. Most of the time when I have had to travel for most of these things, when I share the opportunity to a lot of people locally here, you find that they can't go due to visa issues or they cannot afford their flights. I mean, typically, sometimes I spend like $4,000 on flights and
I
all of
hear
that.
you.
So you find that people can't afford these things. So I thought about it and said, instead of people always having these issues but never experiencing this, why don't I bring this over here for them to experience what a pop-up city feels like, what a
Okay.
builder residency feels like, and surprisingly, when I now check, there's never been an Ethereum conference in Nigeria. There's never been a pop-up city or builder residency. So this is actually like making of history. It's not been done in Lagos. It's not been done anywhere. So it's a lot of logistical planning and ensuring that this first experience goes well. So we actually started ETH Enugu last year. Towards the ending of last year, ETH Enugu is Ethereum Enugu. It's sort of a way that positions Enugu into the global scheme. And talking about why Enugu, it's actually not Enugu in its actual sense. We wanted to do this. I'm very passionate about the Southeast because I'm from this region. Well, I'm very passionate about ensuring that the Southeast is sort of put in the global map. We did that with BlockchainUNN. Then, from all my research and most of my interactions each time I travel for events, I keep finding ETH communities. There's ETH France, there's ETH
Oh,
Brazil.
really?
So there are Ethereum communities that are localized in most of these places. They run independently, not funded by anybody.
Really?
But that narrative is there, so you can easily tap into that global. It positions the locality into the global network. Ethereum turned 10 today, and Ethereum is like the second cryptocurrency after Bitcoin. So it's like a very big network.
It's good that you explained that because my next question was going to hit on the ET business because a lot of people have heard about Bitcoin, they've heard about other types of coins and stuff. So, to most crypto illiterates like myself, what are we supposed to expect at this ET conference?
The ETH conference, or ETH, say, you can call it ETH, you can call it ETH, as some people call it. The ETH Enugu experience, as I call it, because it's not a
It's an
conference.
experience.
Actually, it's for 2 weeks, not one day.
2 weeks.
hmm
Like
From
every day for an
from
entire
August
2
4th,
weeks.
from August 4th to the 16th.
You're not joking.
We have people coming from 15 countries for this. People are coming from US, from Canada, from African countries like Ghana, Uganda, Togo. People are coming from all these places to this event. So I'm just trying to flip the coin because we typically have had to travel to those places.
Oh, really?
So I'm doing it in such a way that they would come over here. And the idea, like I said, is meant to spotlight the Southeast. It was meant to be ETH Southeast, but Southeast didn't make sense in a way because you have to localize it to a location that.
Oh, really?
So and then why I thought about Enugu was Enugu is sort of like epicenter of Southeast. It was the regional capital in the past.
Okay.
I mean, the way I carry Enugu in my head most of the time, people think I'm from.
No, we're literally the finest state around here right
I'm just
now.
saying.
Like,
Sometimes
you
people
know.
think I'm from Enugu. I'm not from Enugu actually, but I've done blockchain and GIDA is actually operating from Enugu and all of that. I'm from Anambra State, but the idea is spotlight the Southeast, and the best way to spotlight the Southeast if there's an epicenter, we all operate from there. So that's why it's ETH Enugu.
Okay.
Now, so we have people coming from other regions in the Southeast because this is something happening in the Southeast.
Okay.
So people are coming from Anambra, from Ebonyi, from Nsukka, lots of places to show that when these guys come from different places to come into the Southeast, people are coming from Lagos and other regions in Nigeria as well for this event, for the Pop-Up City. Pop-Up City starts from August 4th, and you have daily workshops, we have mentors, we have building.
Okay.
There's also a hackathon. We are mapping out the prize pool of almost 10 million naira for builders who are building products to participate in the hackathon, get into Web3, and then it ends at the conference. The conference is on the 16th, which is the bigger one.
So is there any opening for people who might just be coming into the system new, trying to understand the whole crypto business, the whole Web3, is there room for newcomers to join this community?
I mean, yes, the event is actually open for everybody to be part of the experience.
Okay.
We have, you just go to the website, etenugu.xyz, and then you can register for the conference or for the pop-up city.
Okay.
We actually have 3 phases to this event. We have the builder residency. So what the builder residency implies is getting of builders from other places to come to Enugu. So we're housing 50 builders. We're paying for their hotel bill. We just want them to come to Enugu, come and see the Southeast, come and learn from the Southeast. So during the builder residency, these people are coming. Then the pop-up city, what it means is meeting of locals. So people from Enugu, people are residents in Enugu, people from Southeast, and generally anybody who wants to come meets with those residents, right? That get into the builder residency,
Okay.
they'll be having workshops, learn together, mentorship, and all of that. So people from Enugu are always welcome into the pop-up city for the 2 weeks. So from Monday, which is the 4th, that's
Okay.
day 1. Day 2 is the 5th in that order. So it's happening at Cafe 1 Enugu. That's where the pop-up city is happening at. Then the grand finale, where we are going to announce hackathon winners and a lot more people are coming, is on the conference day happening at the base on the 16th of August on Saturday. So we're actually expecting for the pop-up city 200 attendees daily. So every day for 2 weeks, 200 people are going to be coming to learn and all of that, in addition to the people that are builder residents. Then on the conference day, we're expecting 1,000 people. I mean, I already have
1,000 people.
1,000 people are coming for that. We've received a lot of registrations because, like I said, this is the very first Ethereum conference, so it's actually very significant. There's a lot of global attention. We have like a lot of partnerships in the pipeline. We've acquired Ethiopian Airlines, for instance, is partnered with us to provide discounted flights to a lot of people coming internationally for this event. So there are a lot of big things and trying to position this generally from Enugu to the Ethereum network.
This project is quite passionate to you. Okay, so let's go back to the educational part of what you do. What do you think is the biggest gap in the blockchain education in Nigeria? Say Africa as well.
I think the biggest gap is being motivated enough. I mean, those that educate, being motivated enough to just want to do things as public goods. So, for context, since 2020 when I started GIDA, and it came from a place of pain, right? Why I started GIDA, because I was scammed and I didn't want anybody to go through the same thing. Now, courtesy of the fact that I was scammed, and my motivation is just to ensure no other person goes through this. So since 2020, it's been free education. Anybody that is coming to learn has been free. So that's why it was easier for me to onboard 10,000 people into this space, because they were coming to learn for free. And a lot of people that we've onboarded have actually started working in the space. Some have also own their academies. They are teaching other people and are onboarding. Now, as at the time when I came into the space, 2018, 2019, you have to pay heavily to learn about Web3. So beyond the fact that there are scams, if you just try to do it on your own, to now learn from other people, you've got to pay $500, $1,000 to even learn
And you're
basics.
teaching this for free?
Yeah. So that's my ideology. For us to have the great number of adoption we want, we've got to do the things for free, because I mean, students cannot afford to pay this. It's why when I came to school, I said we have to actually establish something too for the students, and it's also been for free. Everything BlockchainUNN has been doing, all of our conferences, sometimes it's self-funded. GIDA has been running on my personal funding and a lot of things that I do. So I believe the greatest challenge is to education is one, lack of funding to ensure that the education happens, and then being motivated enough to just want to do things because you want people to learn and not have like an ulterior motive. From what I've seen in the space, most of the time people do events. Events is not, it's not new in the space. People do events, but the motivation to do those events usually is ulterior, sometimes to get funding and akuche here, if you get what I mean.
I'm right there with you.
So that's
okay.
it.
So I'm thinking in my mind, if I were at base on the 4th of August till the next 2 weeks, I'm probably going to come out as, what will I come out as?
You would come out as somebody that understands about Web3 better,
Okay.
how to build in Web3. You'd have mentors you connected with.
Okay.
You'd have people coming from other places. You can say that I have a friend in Colombia, I have a friend from US. So the connections this brings, the knowledge it brings, and the networking
Okay.
are sort of the and opportunities actually, because we have a lot of job offers. People that are coming for this event from different places are bringing in. We're also initiating what we call the Ethereum Research Village during this event. So the Ethereum Research Village is an initiative that we're pioneering. This is cohort 1. So everybody that comes for this gets into the cohort to introduce you to different areas like writing of research papers, which I know a lot of students are used to that, or lecturers.
Oh, sure.
In the Web3 space, there's actually a niche for that, and they get serious funding
Oh, really?
to do academic work.
I think
and
my
stuff.
colleagues are giving me the eye. This is our business. Okay. All right.
So yeah, we're going to introduce them to a lot of these opportunities
Okay.
and how you can get involved. So like I said, from 4th to 15th is happening at Cafe One.
Okay.
Then 16th is happening at the base in Enugu.
Wonderful. So, okay, the good part. You mentioned challenges, you mentioned scams, and which is usually the part where Nigerians say, no. Once you mention crypto, you say web. Before you finish saying Web3, they're like, nope, we don't want to hear it. Thank you, don't mention. So, what kinds of experiences and challenges did you have that made you go into this rescue mission that you are on now?
I think I left secondary school probably 2017.
Okay.
Now, I lost my dad. So I had to go teach in a primary school for like 3 years.
Oh, you thought?
Yeah,
That's
I had
good.
serious passion. While I was in secondary school, so I was teaching my classmates.
You
But
thought, that's good.
I think this is where the whole passion for like ensuring proper education is given. Our
Okay.
slogan at GIDA is spreading adoption through proper education, devoid of hype. So in the Web3 space, you hear people telling you can make $10,000, those crazy amounts of promises.
Twitter people have finished us. They have finished us on
Right.
that Twitter.
So there's a lot of hype, and so I try to avoid that hype, ensure you learn without the hype.
But the hype is there.
The hype will always be there.
Okay.
I mean, because the opportunity is really there. It's just that
True.
it's not as sudden as most people
Okay, that's honest.
present it. So that's the thing. But I believe there are a lot of wins if you are patient. I mean, I could use myself as case study. When I was teaching in this school, I was being paid 5,000 naira per month, and I taught there for 3 years. It's why this scam actually particularly pained me, because everything I had saved for 3 years was gone. I started the year with 120k in my account. I was ending it with 500 naira. So if I committed suicide, God will even understand.
No, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, you said you worked, and at the end of the month, someone paid you 5,000 naira.
I mean, before I leave the school gate, sometimes it gets finished. Thank God for my mom, because I was living with my mom at the time, so it was relatively easier. But the point I'm trying to make is that there are a lot of wins, because when I got into school, and why I decided to do BlockchainUNN was I was now seeing some dividends, because from the time I was patient to learning the whole thing, it took me like 3 years plus.
3 years.
Then when I was in school, when I gained admission, I was staying in boys' hostel. I couldn't even afford to pay the 15,000 naira for the boys' hostel. Then 2 months afterwards, when I got deep into the space, I was making $2,000 per month.
Okay, this is brother Kevin, don't do that. Don't do that. This is usually the problem. When you start saying things like that is the problem. And on Twitter, and they always tell us on Twitter,
I'm always
and we're like,
realistic.
oh my goodness.
I'm always
Are you sure
realistic.
we are not?
It's
not time for us to reconsider our career choices
It
at
takes
this
a while.
point.
It takes a while. It takes a while generally, but when the rewards come, they
Okay.
come. So I mean, from that stage, I was basically earning 1.5 million. It was around 1.5 million at the time per month as a student in boys' hostel in year 1. I was in year 1.
When did you
UNN.
move out?
I moved out in the second year. So it was that period. I mean, that's also another reason why I decided to do it, because some people at that point, you're already comfortable. You don't need to put anybody into the system.
Okay.
Make the money and stay on your own. But I believe that when you plug more people into the system, even if you leave, the dividends are always there. There are a lot of people in Nsukka right now that I know that are working, earning like around 50K per year, some are earning 200K per year, $1,000 I mean to say. That's what I'm referring to. So these guys are making good money in this space, courtesy of their experience. And most of these experiences were just built from a community we started as blockchain, and we now do developer boot camps, we did trainings and stuff like that. So we actually activated the space in Nsukka. It's very broad and active, and I hope to do the same in Enugu since I've sort of migrated to this environment.
Migrated. Thank you, because we're calling all of our brothers and sisters to come back home, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And thank you very much, because young people around here, we need a lot of motivation. We need help. Someone needs to help young people in our league precisely, Thank you for doing that. So we don't have a lot of time anymore. So I wanted to ask you about funding. You mentioned that it could be difficult in the beginning, especially if you're struggling. So how do you manage funding, developers? How do you manage your partners? How do you manage all of these things?
I think one of the things that gives me an edge personally is relationships. I build relationships. Okay. There's a personal or like important quote that I put everywhere. That is my favorite quote: build in public. Right? So as you build in public, people see how you're moving. If you're making errors, people can even advise you. Right? And if you're doing well, people see your work. I mean, there are places I've gone to, different countries I've been to. I'll try to introduce myself to somebody and say, are you know Ezemmuo Blockchain? I'm like,
I see.
It sort of opens doors for me.
I see.
So, but then that being said, it's still also difficult sometimes to access funding. For instance, this ETH conference we're trying to do, being the first, people are sort of like skeptical sometimes. I mean, this is Nigeria first of all. Most of the funders are mostly like foreign companies, and this is the first, so they want to see like do the work first and stuff like
what's
that.
it gonna be like? Okay.
And to do an event like this, because it's long duration, 2 weeks. I mean, imagine if you're doing an event for 1 day, how much it costs. Now multiply that by 2 weeks. So the average cost of this event runs into thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars actually. So, but the thing is, I double down on it, and the reason why I'm doing the event is to ensure that people from this region are sort of brought on chain. Like I always say, bringing over to and Southeast on chain is my motivation. Okay. So I put in personal funding, thousands of dollars already into this, mobilization, getting of team members and all of that. There are a lot of supporters here and there. I mean, even the Enugu state government is supporting us through the Office of the ESME and Office of Digital Economy. So a lot of people are now interested in what we are doing. We're receiving support here and there, although it's not enough, but we're going to make this happen and ensure that the first Ethereum conference, Peter Residency and Power in Nigeria, is put in history that happened in the Southeast. So we'll put Southeast on chain.
14 days of information. That would be something to see. Okay, so I just have about 2 or 3 more questions before I let you go. The next thing I wanted to find out is, you've mentioned that a lot of people have misconceptions about the whole crypto business, the whole Ethereum business, and the way it's handled, right? So I'm thinking in my mind, what's like the most common mistake that people make in the blockchain business?
The most common mistake is thinking that there is like fixed return.
Explain.
Okay. People are expecting to be making, you tell somebody about Web3 or blockchain, they'll be like, how much can I invest? How much can I be making every day?
Okay.
That kind of thing. So it's always happening there. Business people already know how this works. You can't make the same amount of money every day. And you can make losses too. Again, it depends on your niche in the industry. Another thing I've noticed is people basically think crypto is just about trading. Right? You buy, they say your money can go up, your money can go down, your money can... It's not just that. You can come into the blockchain space. Crypto is like 0.5% application of blockchain. There are a lot of... There's like 99.5% that is not crypto.
So the crypto is just like...
It's the most little part of it. So the main thing that can give you an edge in the Web3 space is having a skill. Skill is underrated.
Digital space, you need a skill on the digital space.
You need a skill in the blockchain space.
In the blockchain
more specifically here. For instance, what I mean is, let's say blockchain developers. These are people that write smart contracts or write code.
Okay.
These are highly sought after in the Web3 space.
I have heard.
And the thing is, that's why when we started what we were doing at BlockchainUNN, we now decided to take it because I can just tell you about these things, you're motivated. But if I don't teach you the skill, you can't learn it. So we started doing developer bootcamps, we started investing money to train developers. We now did 10 weeks, 2 weeks, different bootcamps to carry you hands-on. We sent people to Lagos actually to some of our partner communities, Web3 Bridge, to go and learn. Then when they came back, they were now teaching others. So that's the model we've been doing at Blockchain and doing at GIDA and also hope to do at ETH Enugu. So generally, having a skill gives you an edge in the Web3 space, and you make more money that way. I mean, the $2,000 I told you, they didn't just give it to me. It was because I was working in the space then. So that's the best way to.
I guess you're thinking, what is this working? That's what you need to come to the conference on the 4th of August to find out. Okay, so there's still skepticism as regards Nigerians accepting this as the new way or the new avenue to economic empowerment, because this is the new money, like I call it. So how do we shift the narrative from crypto scams to real innovation and impact? How do we get past it?
I think with every technology, I mean, blockchain is really new. It's actually just started in 2008. So it's barely, let's say 15 years old. So with every technology that comes into a region, it takes a while to adopt. I mean, even ATM cards, you could remember there was a period where people had difficulty getting or using ATM cards.
Seems like yesterday.
So that's the way it is with the blockchain space. So I feel like people that would easily adopt it are like the youth, and this is why I highly encourage a lot of education to happen and be targeted towards the youth. So it's just like GIDA, for instance. Now we have spread out, and most of our targets is usually towards the youth in various universities. We have university ambassadors in different schools. I do a lot of traveling across most universities to talk to them about Web3 and blockchain. So in every school, at least in the 30 states of Nigeria, I can say that every youth at least knows a little bit about it, just not too much, but it could be intensified. So I think it takes time to learn, but then we are actually making progress. Nigeria, actually, if you read reports, you find that Nigeria is actually like top in Africa when it comes to like the Web3 space. And of course, when you now talk of Nigeria, you're mostly talking about the youth population, whom are mostly users and users comes into the blockchain to make money and also contribute to the industry.
All right, thank you very much, Ezemmuo Blockchain. Okay, so real quickly before I let you go, what's the one thing you hope every builder and attendee takes home from the ETH conference?
So by coming to the ETH Enugu Pop-Up City and Conference, Pop-Up City, like I said, from 4th to 15th, and the conference is on 16th. Now, by coming to this, you are going to meet new people.
Okay.
You're going to learn. Come with an open mind to learn. Don't come to make money. Your mindset should not be fixated on money, because it's the knowledge you have that you start making money. So you're going to learn. You're going to make money in the long run. You're going to build connections, and you're going to find opportunities. These are things that you have. And then you would have also contributed towards bringing O42 and Southeast on chain, which is the core motivation behind everything we are trying to do.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. For a young person from Abakaliki, Abia, Nsukka, Owerri, you think about it in the Southeast, right? Watching with big dreams and no connections yet. What would Ezemmuo Blockchain tell the young Igbo man or woman who is finding this interesting and thinking, oh, if I have my way, I'm going to come here? What do you have to tell young Igbos?
What I have to tell you is the opportunity has been brought to your doorstep.
Okay.
It was never like this. So you just have to get involved. And I believe that we have put in place a lot of systems to make this happen. For instance, for the pop-up city, we have discounted accommodation provided. We are paying 40% of the cost
40%?
For anybody that wants to come from outside Enugu.
Okay.
You just have to apply, fill a form, and then we'll contact you if you're coming from outside Enugu. I did a tour last month. I went to Owerri, I went to Anambra, I went to all the 5 eastern states, different universities, to talk to students about this, and particularly a lot of them are interested in coming. For Nsukka, people coming from Nsukka, like I said, BlockchainUNN is my base, so we're actually providing free transport as well on the conference day for people coming. I'm sponsoring that.
Nice.
So we just want to ensure that everybody comes. So make sure if you're watching this from anywhere in the Southeast, the opportunity has been brought to your doorstep. If you had to go to Lagos for this, you'd spend more. Right, but since it's at your doorstep, you just have to be as committed to making sure that you are there. So that's my advice. And since I wouldn't say I've made it, but since I've made considerable level of progress in this space, and it's evident. I mean, I'm a very young person. I'm barely 25, but I'm not even 25 yet. So since I've made this considerable level of progress in the industry compared to when I started, you can make it even better, because a lot have made it there. So that's my submission.
You see how this works. So tell us about the conference. It's happening at the base landmark in Enugu here, in Independence Layout. I'm sure you know where it is. Okay, so it's happening from the 4th of August.
Conference is on 16th, more specifically.
Okay, the conference is on the 16th of August. When does the entire program, when does it end?
From August 4th to 15th is the pop-up city.
Okay.
It's just generally 2 weeks, and the 2 weeks timeline is from 4th to 16th.
4th
Just
to
that from
16th.
4th to 15th is at a different venue, which is at Cafe 1
Okay.
at Opera Avenue.
Okay.
While the 16th is at the base at the Independence Layout.
Okay, so the conference itself is at the base landmark.
On 16th.
But from the 4th
To
till
15th.
15th is at Cafe 1, right? That's where you can go and find, trust me, all the tech people are usually there on a normal day. So imagine now that they have this conference going on. I'm sure that place is swarming.
I mean, 200
with-
people are coming every day.
Look at that. And then you can just, sit down and think about your life while you're there. My name is Mavis. And of course, Ezemmuo Blockchain is in the Voice of the East House this afternoon. And we're getting to know him and what he has for the Enugu people. Make sure you catch up with him at the conference. Thank you.